One of the biggest games in the history of the rivalry, Michigan-Michigan State, takes place right here Tuesday night as the number 8 Michigan State Spartans host number 4 Michigan. The first time both teams have played each other, ranked in the top 10. Dylan, what do you see as the key in this game?
Well, Josh, you have to like what Derek Nick said today at player availability. He was asked about Trey Burke and Michigan having the best backcourt in the country. He goes, well, yeah, they have the best besides us. So I think that's where the battle's going to be at. You're going to have to see Keith Appling against Trey Burke, one of the most anticipated matchups of the season. And then you go on the inside, and you have Nix, and you have Dawson, and you have Payne against their big guys. It's gonna be a great game. I mean, it might rank right up there as far as Michigan State goes, and we sure as hope so.
Yeah,
it's very exciting. I mean, it's two pretty good teams. Have the opportunity to compete for a Big Ten championship. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna come out fired up. So I feel like whichever team is able to get their composure to a level where they can play well, it's going to be a team that comes out to win.
Well, I said the one thing that I always envy football on that I dislike about basketball is you have rivalry games, you have big games, you have a day to prepare for them, or something. This was a quick turnaround for both teams. We get back late Saturday night, and all of a sudden you're getting ready for a game immediately, and so you don't get that build up as far as you do in football, but. Our players know it's a big game, and I'm sure their players know it's a big game. And as you say, when you look at the national rankings, it's one of the biggest Michigan State games. When you look at both teams at the top of the Big Ten conference as far as to try to win a championship, it's one of the bigger games.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State recently has cut their turnovers down to about 7 a game from 15 earlier in the year, and that will be critical in this game. Michigan loves to get out and run, and if those opportunities aren't there, it could be tough for Michigan in the half court. Michigan State also with the size advantage inside. Izzo sort of downplayed that a little bit today at his press conference, but when you look at the matchup, Trey Burke, Keith Appling, it's kind of the matchup everyone's talking about. Is it more critical just that one of them doesn't get into foul trouble? Keith's had a little bit of trouble with that. How do you see that matchup playing out?
Well, I think it's Michigan State's biggest dream if Trey Burke were to get in some foul trouble. I mean, because then they're able to. Michigan has to run their offense a little bit differently when Trey Burke's not on the floor. I mean, you have to take a look that this guy is one of the most explosive players in all of college basketball. Certainly the Big Ten, and he does a lot of things really well. If Keith's able to stay on the floor, though, unlike he was able to do at Indiana, where he came off and he fouled out and then they ended up losing. If he can stay on the floor, Michigan State will compete in this game. I think that on the Breslin floor, the zone here, I think Michigan State can come away with a victory. Certainly so.
Yeah, Izzo described Tim Hardaway as being in his zone recently. That's certainly been true. But for Michigan State, it seems like a big key could also be, understanding that Hardaway and Burke are going to get theirs. What will the freshmen do for Michigan? What will Stauskas and Glenn Robinson do? They've been a little bit cold recently. If they can play well in this arena, Michigan might have a shot to maintain their spot and move back up into the top of the Big Ten. So, from Breslin Center, this is Josh Mansour, Dylan Davis, signing off.